Hello, can anybody hear me? Hello. You guys, I am so sorry. I am such a doofus. I put the wrong time down when I scheduled this. And yeah, I saw these comments and I'm like, what is going on? I don't go live until 6. But we're getting an early start today, thanks to me being goofy. So I'm so sorry, everybody. Is anybody out there? Can you hear me? Hi, Lisa. How are you? I feel so silly. So silly. Hi, Maribel. How are you tonight? It's so good to see you. Hi, Cheryl. Jello. What does Jello mean? Hello, Jello. I'm guessing that's what it means. Deneen is still working. Deneen, I am so sorry. I am on early because I accidentally put down that I was starting at 5, and I know how it happened. I just can't believe I did it. I've been hanging around Ginger too long. Oh my goodness. Alice, how are you? Hey, LJ. Hello, can't type. Cheryl, that's so funny. I think Jello is kind of fun to say. So I know I'm surprised I'm on early too, Maribel. So let me explain what happened. And I'm not gonna start doing the tutorial until 6 because that's what time I was supposed to start. But what it is I had scheduled my my yarn hookers live at the same time that I scheduled this live, and I just put 5 o'clock for both of them, not even thinking about it. So yarn hookers is always at 5 and mine is at 6. And yeah, so I was at 5 o'clock sitting at the table in my kitchen eating some toast, and I just made some tea, which I haven't had any yet. And then I saw y'all on here and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I saw that I missed a call from Ginger. So anyway, I do apologize. How are all of you today? Yes, Alice, multitasking is dangerous. Do you guys want to know a secret? You want to know what I do for a living? You're going to laugh. I schedule meetings. That is like a huge part of my job. Hundreds of meetings for students, parents, teachers, special education providers. I schedule them. That's my job. But I can't schedule my own live stream correctly. Luckily, I haven't screwed up any at work. Knocking on some wood. Yarn Fairy says, it's okay. Just means we get to spend more time with you. Yay, more time. So how you been? What you been up to? I had a little bit of a interesting thing happen to me this week, and I'll tell you in a second. I just need to take a little sip of my tea because I have kind of a sore throat, and it's not COVID. I just, I have sinus issues and post-nasal drip, and it causes a sore throat. LJ says, I get to say hi while I'm still awake and vaguely functional. I'm sure you're always functional. Well, I don't know. I'm not always functional, obviously. Hey, Ginger, how are you? Hi, Laura. I just want to go through and look at everybody in the chat, make sure I didn't miss anybody. I don't think I said hi to Carol. I know I said hi to Laura and Alice and Deneen and Cheryl, Maribel, LJ, Lisa, Kathy. Hey, Kathy, I think I missed you. Let's see, make sure I got everybody. Amy Jo, it's good to see you, Amy Jo. I hope you're still here. I see that I definitely confused you. Let's see here, Kathy, LJ. Oh, Kim. Hi, Kim. Hi, Ed. Good to see you guys. Hi, Samantha. Patty's here, and Sydney. Hopefully, y'all are still here. I don't know. You probably think I stood you up. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Okay, I think I got everybody. I think I did. Okay, yeah, you said hi to me. That's what Alice says. Dysfunctional, maybe more accurate. LJ, we used to have a phrase in my family, and we used to say we put the fun in dysfunctional. Nothing wrong with that. So to tell you what I did this week, a few weeks ago, actually, it was the week of Christmas. It was the Monday of Christmas. I'd had some pain, lots of pain in my jaw and in my and I wasn't sure if it was a toothache or if it was my jaw because I have TMJ, temporomandibular joint syndrome, something. I don't know. Every once in a while, my jaw joint swells up because when I was a kid, I broke it. I injured it pretty badly in a bicycle accident. And it hasn't been bad for years, though. I haven't had that pain. So I thought, oh, geez, maybe it's a tooth. You know, it's kind of hard to tell. It just throbs. It's like a headache. Hi, Lisa, 9:30 on Wednesday morning. Yeah, Alice, so not fun. So I went to the dentist and I said, there's something wrong. I don't know what it is, but please see if you can figure it out. So after some tapping on my teeth and figuring out what hurts and what doesn't hurt, they discovered there was a crack in my last molar, the one way, way in the back. He's like, there's a crack and we need to fix it so it doesn't break. Oh, I was just like, okay, just do whatever you have to do. I trust you. So, you know, they put the needle in and they put it in like where your jaw meets, like here's your lower jaw and your upper jaw. And he put the needle like right there to numb it and did a lot of dental work. But whenever I have dental work, my jaw just aches for weeks. I'm like on ibuprofen for weeks. So I'm finally weaning down to just one dose of ibuprofen a day. So it's getting better. But oh, it's just been so sore and making sleep difficult. And anyway, so I said, what causes it to crack? And he said, well, because of the trauma your jaw had, your bite is a little odd and you probably clench your teeth without even knowing it. And you've cracked your teeth and you're going to crack more of them if you don't start using a bite guard. So I had to go and stick my teeth in this like mold thing. It looked like Play-Doh or clay yesterday. And then they sent that off to the lab. And today I picked up my silicone teeth guard. So I have to sleep with this teeth guard in my mouth. So wish me luck. Tonight should be very interesting. Hey, Charlene, how are you today? Let's see what everybody's saying here. There's Jen. Hi, Jen. It's good to see you. Everyone's saying hello to each other, which is what I love about you Yarny folks. You're all so kind to each other. Let's see here. I'm just reading through. So Alice says, no dental stuff. Knock me out and do what you need to do. I know. I've never been a big fan of going to the dentist, but I am a big fan of dentists because there is no pain like mouth pain. If they can fix it, thank you for fixing it. And my dentist is really good. It has nothing to do with the dentist. It's just the fact that I had that injury so long ago. And yeah, who would ever have thought that something that I did when I was 10 years old would still be bothering me 40 years later? Ugh, so frustrating. But 99.999% of the time, it doesn't bother me at all. But this past month, not fun. So Alice's sister is a tooth grinder. Yeah. I don't think I grind them. I think I clench them like that. You know, just hold them tight. And actually, now that I know this, I keep catching myself doing it. When I'm on my computer, when I'm driving, for whatever reason, I'm naturally clenching my teeth. So I might have to wear that guard more often. But I do not want to crack another tooth because that is not fun. Just Making It says, hi, everyone. My first time being able to make it to the live. Yay! Welcome, Just Making It. I'm so glad you're here. I haven't even had a chance to pick out the question of the day, guys. LJ says, TMJ pain is frustrating because you can't not use that joint. It's true. It's true. No matter how hard you try to just relax it, it just does what it's going to do. It's really hard. Alice says, sadly, the do not have time to travel yet. They do not have time travel yet. We can't go back and change it. I know. Carol, that's okay. In and out is fine. Whatever you need to do. I'm going to grab the chat pack. I actually have 3 chat packs. I have 2 of them in here, and one of them is in another room. So we're going to go with the party favorites because we're having a party. And we'll see what the question of the day is. Hopefully I can get my slideshow up and everything, guys. Oh, well, this one's mildly interesting. What is your favorite condiment to put on a hot dog or a hamburger? Can you see it? I'm not sure if it's focused. Focus, focus. Favorite condiment to put on a hot dog or hamburger? I put a lot of them on. I put like ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, onions. Well, onions aren't really a condiment, but I put those on. Sydney had to do physical therapy for TMJ. What does that look like? What does that consist of? I am very curious now. I know that sometimes my jaw gets out of alignment, and I'm told that you can go to your chiropractor for that. And I love my chiropractor, but I'm scared to go for that. Let's see here. Jess says, I'm a grinder and clencher. I have historically cracked a tooth every tax season for the last 5 years. Oh, girl, do you have one of those bite cards? Because maybe it would help. I don't know if it's going to help. I hope so. Sydney had to do physical therapy. Jess says, I decided last year that hiring a bookkeeper was cheaper than the dental bill at the end of the year. So that's why you were clenching your teeth, because of the stress of doing taxes? That makes sense. I'm sure it is cheaper to get a bookkeeper. So Maribel says hot sauce. Lisa says tomato sauce. Yarn Geek Ginger says mustard. And Jen likes relish. Dancing Moon. Hi, Dancing Moon. Nice to meet you and see you here. Dancing Moon likes salad dressing, which would be really good on a chicken sandwich. Right? Right? Yeah, yeah. Yarn Berry says mustard for hot dog and ketchup for burger. See, I like both for all. Tina says ketchup. Just Making It says relish on a hot dog, ketchup on a hamburger. Ed says stone ground mustard on hot dog and barbecue sauce and salsa on burgers. I got to tell you, I tried a few months ago. My son introduced me to barbecue sauce on McDonald's French fries. Oh, so good. So good. I actually had McDonald's French fries today and I didn't have any barbecue sauce and I was so sad. I was like, these really need barbecue sauce. Charlene says mustard and mayo, yum, yum. Laura says sauerkraut and ketchup. Sauerkraut that's one we haven't heard. Jess says, I do have a bite card, but after getting a bookkeeper, I didn't crack a tooth last year. I'm so happy to hear it, Jess. I just do not want to crack another one. Okay, LJ says, press and massage around the middle joint of the thumb. Around the thumb? Oh, okay, and help the corresponding nerves around TMJ relax. Reflexology. Oh, I've learned the one, I think it's for headache, where isn't it like this part? Is that where you do it for a headache? I'd have to look it up, but I remember doing that once. LJ says ketchup, only ketchup. Just Making It. It's not the stress of doing the bookwork. It's the stress of avoiding it. Understood. Avoidance. Kathy says ketchup. And Alice says no McDonald's French fries. A salt-only affair. Oh, you like just salt on your McDonald's fries? They are good. That's all I can say about it. Ed says, I prefer barbecue sauce over ketchup for most things. Jess says, oh my goodness, McD fries dipped in strawberry shake. I've heard chocolate shake. Actually, I've heard chocolate frosty. The French fries from Wendy's and a frosty. That's what I've heard. Jess says, I know the strawberry shake dip is weird, but I totally crave something salty like fries or cheese curds whenever I have a shake. I haven't had a shake in so long because they actually make me really sick. A little dairy issue. But I used to always have to have water with a shake. Ginger likes vinegar on your fries. Ginger, sounds like you're a little bit of a Brit. LJ says, it's a general pain point, although not during pregnancy. I lost it. Where'd it go? Contraindication point. Oh, that is so good to know. I'm not going to be pregnant anytime soon, so that's not going to affect me, but for everybody else out there. French fries get dipped in chocolate milkshakes or Frosties. Yeah. Everybody's agreeing with that. Just Making It agrees with that. Crafty Chat says potatoes and plain salt is sacred. Sydney, I use a heating pad on the back of my upper neck and then got I have been using a heating pad. I fold it in half and set it right on my face. But it's getting better. It is getting better. I'm so happy to say. I did just take some Advil, though, because one thing I do know that really bothers it is smiling and talking. And Christmas Eve, when we were with family and I was smiling a lot and playing with the kids, our little bitty kids, I was smiling a lot, and boy, did it hurt. It hurt that night. Let's see here. Lisa says, on my fries, I like vinegar and soy sauce. LJ, my friend's pregnancy craving was McDonald's fries and strawberry shakes. My pregnancy craving was popsicles and root beer barrel candies. Crazy, right? Yarn Fairy says, in all honesty, I don't use many condiments. I prefer my food naked, except some fresh ground pepper. Ooh. She likes it naked and hot. My goodness, Yarn Fairy. Laura says malt vinegar on fries. Barbecue sauce is good too. LJ says vinegar on chips is absolutely necessary. Jess says, Julie, you need to try Culver's frozen custard concrete shakes. They are non-dairy as far as I remember. Good to know. Write a little note. Actually, I can have frozen yogurt. So my son and I last weekend went to Sweet Frog, which we hadn't gone to in a couple of years. So it was kind of a treat. Yarn Fairy. And I only eat fast food about 6 to 8 times a year. I try not to eat it too often. But today I was just hungry and I had already eaten everything that I took to work, which wasn't a lot. I took a fruit smoothie that I made this morning and a little protein drink and a granola bar. So yesterday that was enough, but today, by noon I was starving. Ginger says, I love the concretes, Jess. Jess Pepper. That was funny, Alice. LJ says, that's an acceptable craving. Mine was pickled onion monster munch and brown sauce on everything. Wow. Hello, Queen Crafting. How are you tonight? I'm too Canadian not to throw poutine in there. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. You have to tell me. All right. I wanted to show you guys something. But before I do, is it too dark in here? Because I only have one light on. And I can certainly turn on another light if I need to. What do you think? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to show you something that I've been working on. And if it's too dark, just tell me and I'll pop on my other light. Okay? But I looked at last week's episode and I was so pale. My husband said, you look like a vampire, honey. You're very pale. And then he started calling me Lestat, which is a joke. It's okay. He wasn't doing it to be hurtful. He was doing it to be funny. But I wanted to show you guys what I've been working on as I get my stuff out of my bag. Not very prepared tonight. I found this pattern. I want to gosh, now I can't remember what the designer's name was. River Wrap, I think is the name. A River Shawl is the name of the shawl. But I've been working on this pattern and I'm loving it. Isn't that cool? I just love it. It's just going to be like a rectangular wrap. I have a stitch marker on it so I can put it on without worrying about it falling off, or losing my stitches. But oh my gosh, I'm loving it. It's almost done. Almost done. And then the wide or the narrow ends will have like a little bit of I think it's a shell stitch or something, but it's just like a shawl. I'm so excited. And I'm using Big Twist Twinkle in the silvery gray. Oh, I think I just want to keep it on. I might have to wear it tomorrow to work. I'll have to try to finish it tonight. There is a lot of single crochet in it, so it's taking me kind of a while, but I think it's worth it. I'm so excited. So super easy though. It's like it looks complicated, but it really isn't as long as you kind of keep track of your count. It's pretty easy. I'm excited. So that is what I have been working on this week. There needs to be more hours in the day. Can someone tell me how to get more hours in my day without quitting my job and without not sleeping? If I didn't have to sleep or work, man, I would have so much more done for crochet. Oh, it is a fancy date night shawl. And yes, thank you, Tina. And the sparklies and the yarn, I know, I just love them. Thank you guys all so much. I wasn't fishing for compliments. I just wanted to share it with you because I was so excited. But I'm loving it. Loving it. Jess says, not vampire. I prefer the name Snow White. I'll tell you something about Snow White. Every Halloween for about 15 years when I was teaching pre-K, I was Snow White. I was Snow White every Halloween because here I was, you know, the tall lady in the Snow White outfit with a bunch of 4-year-olds. So they were very small little people. It kind of worked. Poutine is fries drowning in cheese curds and hot brown gravy. That sounds divine. The spoon in your mug sliding when you take a sip makes me think you had a crochet hook in there for a second. No crochet hook. Just not polite. I'll take it out. That's probably a horrible sound. Okay, so the lighting is okay. Perfect. Okay. Ginger, you know the secret that Julie seeks. Ginger knows the secret that I'm seeking and has not told me. What's that? The one about time? Ginger, do you know where there's extra hours in the day? Because I need some. Jess says, Julie, you and I have the same coloring, so I can say we are sort of Snow Whitish. Yeah. I am a bit Snow Whitish, and I have to say I have 3 younger sisters, and they all have the same coloring too. They're very pale. They have the dark hair and the dark eyebrows, and yeah, so we're all a bit Snow Whitish. And speaking of my sisters, my younger sister Joy was here on New Year's Day, and she's been knitting. And we got talking yarn, and we're looking at my stash, and she got yarn for Christmas, and I gave her some needles, and it was the best. It was so fun. It was so fun because I don't have a lot of yarny friends other than you all. You know, I have everybody that is a yarny friend of mine is online. They don't, you know, live near me. So it was so exciting. I was like, yay, we've got to go yarn shopping. I can't wait. Oh, thanks, LJ. Pale skin and dark hair is coveted. Make the most of it. I will. Yarn Fairy says, yes, Yarn Geek knows the secret of time travel. And Ginger says, I wish. Okay, so I'm going to chat for a little bit longer before we start our hats because I did say 6 o'clock everywhere else except for the place that it really mattered the most. So I want to give people time to get in here. I don't want to get started and then have someone come in at 6 and be like, hey, what's going on? I missed it. Yes, Lisa, it's always good to have someone close to go yarn shopping. I never had that. I never had anyone go yarn shopping with me before, except my older sister when I was in Florida. But to her, she was just like watching me be silly. She doesn't do anything with yarn, so I don't know how much fun it was for her. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I would really love to take my sister to Sybil's, which is my favorite local yarn store. That would be really fun. Okay, so wow, I talk a lot. I'm so sorry. I came home today and had some mail for me waiting. Do you guys get this? I've never gotten this. And then it says, last chance, don't let this be your last catalog. My last catalog. It's my first catalog. Lisa says you're normally on 10 p.m. here for me. Yeah. And you only go yarn shopping on your own. I understand. And sometimes if I have someone with me, it's in the form of a GoPro camera and it's you guys. And I just set you around and shop. And other people look at me like, anyway, yeah, I got this catalog. I'm pretty excited about it. I was looking through it. And there's some cute patterns in here. I've never gotten this catalog before. So I wanted to show you a couple that I saw that I thought were interesting. I actually folded down. I folded down the page, so I should be able to find it pretty easily. Where is it? I folded it down too well. Oh, here it is. So these are called Nature's Landscapes Crochet Blankets. Bring the beauty of the outdoors inside with 4 Afghans, all inspired by nature. Each Afghan is made using the unique knotted half double crochet 2 stitches together stitch. Has anyone heard of this stitch before? Because I have never heard of that. I have got to look that up because the blankets are really, really, really cool. Hopefully you can see them. Like this. Whoops, where is it? There. Isn't that neat? Yeah, I don't know what that stitch is, and I'm really tempted to purchase that download just to check it out. It is an intermediate skill level. I don't know. Never heard of it. Judy, no, you're not late, honey. I'm early. I put the wrong time on my StreamYard, and it showed up on YouTube as 5 o'clock instead of 6. So, not you, it's me. To quote George Costanza, it's not you, it's me. Okay, so anyway, yeah, hands up if you've ever heard of that. I'm gonna read that stitch name to you again. Knotted half double crochet 2 stitches together stitch. Oh, Judy, you saw it and was wondering the same thing? Yeah, I got to learn that. I've got to figure it out. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen it like on a YouTube instructional video or not, so I might just have to purchase it just to find out. But they're beautiful and I'd love to try it. Ed says that he is much better and getting there slowly. Ed, how is Yarn Fairy doing? Or actually, Yarn Fairy is here. So Yarn Fairy, how are you doing? LJ says, well, I'm glad I got to say hi, but I'm really tired, so it's definitely bedtime. Take care, everyone. LJ, I know it's so late. Excuse me. I know it's so late over there. So thank you so much for stopping in and, you know, catch me on the replay and then you can finish your hat. Lisa says, can't help you with that. Yeah, I might have to figure it out. But let me tell you, if I do, I will let you all know and we can do a tutorial. That would be good. Let's see what else is in here. These were really cute, these dish towel toppers. I thought this was a cute looking pattern too. How they look like a little dress. I thought it was really cute. Ed says the best yarn shopping buddy. Oh, I'm sorry. Yarn Fairy says that Ed is the best yarn shopping buddy. He often finds me deals, yarn deals for me. My goal is to get either hooks or needles in his hands. He can already hold his own while discussing yarn and stitches. We'll get him, Yarn Fairy. We'll get him. Okay, there is one other thing I wanted to show you in here before we start to get started. Does that make sense? This sweater made me think of my friends Jamie and Ginger. Look at that sweater right there with the leaf on it, the big monstera leaf. Can you see it? That looks really cool. But this sweater next to it, I'm not so sure about. It looks like they use triple or treble crochet stitches. And for a sweater, thinking you're going to be exposing a little too much, maybe, with those great big stitches. I don't know. Oh, LJ's going to do her hat and post it. Yay, I'm so excited. Yarn Fairy says, getting better daily, long road, but moving forward, having yarn around helps. I am so glad, Yarn Fairy. I really, really am. I know what it's like to have a mild case, and my mild case lasted about 2 weeks. So I can't even imagine how long of a road this has been for you guys. And I'm so glad that you're over the worst of it and just gradually getting better every day, because yeah, it's tricky. Lori, I'm so sorry, honey. It's not your fault. Don't be confused. It should be 6 o'clock. I accidentally posted my StreamYard at the same time I posted my Yarn Hookers stream. Like you can schedule your streams. Is that making sense? You can schedule them. And I scheduled this one at the same time that I was scheduling my Yarn Hookers one, and I put 5 o'clock on both of them. And I didn't even realize I'd done it until I got an alert on my phone that you're going live. I was like, oh, that's not right. And then I saw everybody was in the chat room, and I'm like hurrying around trying to get things ready. Because yeah, it went live early. So it's not your fault, Lori. And I haven't started the hat tutorial yet. I've just been shooting the breeze with everybody, so they didn't think I stood them up. Hi, Denise. Hi, Joe. I'm so glad you guys are here. Hooray. Yarn Fairy says, I think between you, Ginger, and me, we'll get it accomplished. I hope so. I would love to see Ed make something for the Yarn Fairy, like a cute little scarf or something. Something simple just to start. All right. Hey, Joe, I am going to be kind of clicking around here a little bit, you guys, because I have got to get my slides up and ready. I am just a little bit discombobulated today, but I will get there. I promise. I promise. It's really, really a weird night, right? Lisa says, Julie, I tried the coaster you had up the other week. Oh yeah, I've got a couple of them. I'm using one actually right now, and I had my spoon set on this one. They're a quick, easy project. In Yarn We Trust says, hi, everyone. Thank you for explaining the time thing. I thought maybe my clocks were wrong. Nope. No one is wrong. Everyone's right except me. I really, really am goofy tonight. All right. Let me get this ready. Slideshows. And let's make a hat, part 2. Slowly getting there, guys. All right. So what have you guys been working on? Has anybody else been doing any new crocheting? I did put a post up, I think it was in Yarn Hookers Facebook, where it was a little poll. Do you like to learn new stitches, or are you comfortable knowing what you know and you don't really want to jump out of your comfort zone? Very curious about that. Okay, this is slowly spinning. It's trying to open. There it is. The behind the scenes nonsense that we have to do to make these things work. All right. And almost there. How are we looking now? We're getting there? All right. Yay! Lisa says, I'm happy at the moment on what we are doing for now. Yeah, we're starting with just really basic stitches. I got a little discouraged the other day because I saw the Secret Yarnery, who is amazing. She's amazing. She just started doing live tutorials, and I was like, oh no. She's doing live tutorials starting from the very beginning. Oh, I should just give up. Alice says, I am trying to do diamond painting for the first time. Blame Reggie from J-Hooks for this rabbit hole. That is really cool. And I have specifically not tried it because I know I'd get sucked in. I know I would. I'd get so sucked in. Lori says, I cheated and went ahead. I'm waiting for my pom-pom maker that I bought with a Christmas gift card to arrive. That's awesome. I'm so glad you jumped ahead. I wanted to encourage people to do that. It's hard to wait. Sydney says, I usually stick to what I know, but this year I want to make some sweaters. So I'm going to try some new things this year. That's great, Sydney. So what kind of sweaters are you thinking about? Are you thinking about pullover sweaters or cardigans? Because I know Ginger the Yarn Geek has a nice, easy cardigan tutorial. So that's cool. Oh, Lisa, I won't give up. I won't. She is really good, though. She really is good. So I'm excited for everybody who's going to get the opportunity to learn with her right from the very beginning. Hi, Julie. No, you did not miss a time change, Jamie. You did not. You are correct on the time. Let me tell you what happened. I'm just going to say it one more time because everybody who's been here for a while has heard it already. But I scheduled this live at the same time I was scheduling my Yarn Hookers live. And I put 5 o'clock for both of them. So it got to be a little after 5, like 5:15 or something. And I saw these people in the chat wondering where I was. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get on there or else they're going to think I stood them up. So I jumped on. We've just been chatting. We have not started the tutorial yet. I was like, I got to wait until at least 6 o'clock so that people can come in before we start crocheting. Lori said, I also did a crab stitch instead of this simple single crochet. I'm a naughty hooker. You can do whatever you want. You have to make it yours. Do it the way you want to do it. Change that pattern. I do that too. I do that with other people's patterns. I'm like, actually, I was making a different hat. And I just really did not like the way they did the ribbing. So I was like, I like the way I do ribbing. So I did it the way I wanted it. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Jess says, made my first sweater over the holidays. Excuse me. I used the Jasmine pattern by Petite Violin, which is a kid's pattern, but I changed the yarn weight to a bulky and it worked great. See, that's what I mean. Make it yours. Change it the way you want it. That's awesome. I'm so excited for you. It was my first adult crochet sweater. Happy New Year, Kathy. I made a sweater once and I thought it looked beautiful. And then I put it on and it did not fit in the armpits at all. Like I couldn't put my arms down. I was like the kid in that Christmas movie. I can't put my arms down. And so it went to the thrift store and hopefully someone had a different body shape than I do and could wear it. Someone who is a little less endowed. Oh, that's so exciting though that was your first adult crochet sweater. Mine didn't go so well, but maybe the next one. Actually, I've made a couple since and they're not too bad. I started with a cardigan for the the second try, and I think that it went a little bit smoother for that reason rather than the raglan, but you know, whatever works for you, that's what you've got to do, right? Okay, I'm going to just click through this slideshow a little bit. I think, yeah, so I think we got that far. I think we were doing round 7 through 11. We did 1/2 double crochet stitch for every stitch all the way around. So we're going to be starting out tonight on round 12. Round 12. So are you guys ready to get started? What do you think? I'm ready to get started. I got my yarn ready. Hopefully it's good enough light that you can see. Oh, I should have easily been able to tell that I was finished with round 11 because I clicked my click. Oh my goodness. It won't fall any further. But it won't do me any good down there. Oh, and I changed it to row 12. Okay, back to row 11 or round 11. All right, you guys ready for round 11? Let's see what we've got. Let's make this bigger. So for round 11, we are going to work our 1/2 double crochet in the next 5 stitches and 2 1/2 double crochet in the next. And we're going to repeat that all the way around, and that's going to increase in this round up to 56 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I don't know if you remember the tip. Make myself a little bigger here. I don't know if you remember the tip, but you're going to keep your stitch marker right on the loop that's on your hook. I almost forgot myself. I took it off, and I didn't mean to. Keep it right on there because that is the first stitch in your next round. So it makes it a lot easier to figure out where you are. So let's get started with our 1/2 double crochet in the next 5 stitches. So here's 1. Whoops, here's 2. Here's 3. Here's 4. Here's 5. And 6 and 7 are going to go together. So we have number 6 and number 7 stitch get made in the same stitch. Okay, so that's where our increase is. So do 5 on their own and then put 2 together. So let's start again. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 in the next stitch. So 6 and 7 go together. 7's the new guy. And 1, and 2, oops, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 2 in the next one. So there's 6 and 7. Okay. I'm going to make sure I stay up on the chat, but probably nobody's typing because everybody's stitching, right? And that's going to continue. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6 and 7 go together. This is going to give it just a little bit of an increase, and I believe this is the last increase in the pattern. After this, it gets really simple. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. I want to read the chat. You guys keep crocheting. Lori says, do you like the way you place the stitch marker? I'm doing it that way from now on. I just find it way easier than taking it out and putting it into the stitch. I just find it easier. It just works for me. And I discovered that when doing amigurumi. I was just like, hey, why don't I just stick it in here? This is going to be the first stitch. And that worked for me. 5, 6 and 7. 1, 2, oops, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, so that does it for me. That is my last stitch in this round. So I'll give everybody a little bit of time to catch up. You're probably actually quicker than me because I'm stopping and starting. Yarn Fairy says that Lori, I went ahead too. Just need to weave in the 2 ends. Awesome. Kathy says, the Yarn Fairy, how are you and Ed doing? I love that you guys are just thinking of each other all the time. That's so great. You guys are going to like this next slide because rounds 13 through 18, we are going to do 1/2 double crochet in each stitch all the way around. And that's it. That is the end. We're just going to do 56 stitches all the way around because that's what we have now. We've increased to 56, and we're just going to continue to do that for, let's see, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 6 rounds. And that will be the end. And we'll just have to weave in the ends. The end to weave in the ends. So what are you guys, what kind of yarns are you guys using and what colors are you using? I'm going to go ahead and get started on my rounds here. What colors are you using though? I'm using this Loops and Threads Charisma Tweed. And the colorway is, where is the color? Sweet Dreams. That's right. I don't know why I can't remember that. It's like one of my favorite Eurythmics songs. I should be able to remember that. Let's see here. I wish I could wear hats all day. I tell you, I went to the ladies' room today on my lunch break and I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh boy, something needs to be done with this mop on my head because it was not looking pretty, guys. Not looking pretty. And tomorrow I'm going to be on Zoom calls all day, so I'm going to have to make sure my hair is looking okay. Oh my goodness. And Yarn We Trust says, I'm using Premier Puzzle colorway Hangman. Wow. What colors are in that? It's a nice blue-purple mix. I ended up needing to use a K-hook. So a K-hook, I think, is that like a 7 millimeter? Or is that bigger? I'm using an 8 millimeter. Oh, this is an L. So yeah, is that like a 7? I've never used the puzzle. I have looked for it at my Michael's and I've never seen it there. So did you get yours in the store or did you order it? I'm very curious. Hi, Granny D. How are you? We're just making our hats. We're doing the second half. the second half and the final half of our hats. Um, so right now we're just stitching around and talking about what kinds of yarn we're using. I'm using Loops and Threads Charisma Tweed Hues in the color of Sweet Dreams. I'm actually really liking this colorway. It's really pretty. It doesn't match anything that I have for winter, but like my coat or anything, but it's pretty. And my coat's black, so I could probably get away with it, right? Or maybe I just need to go buy a new one. So I have a hat that matches my coat. Let's see. And Yarn with Tresses, they have it at Walmart, but I got mine at Goodwill. Wow, that was a lucky find. And it's a 6.5 millimeter hook. Okay, so I was close. I was close. Let's see here. Ed says to Kathy, we're doing a lot better, doing much better than we were. Still a long way to go, but progressing. Ed, I think for me that the hardest part was getting my energy back. I was just so weak for so long. Like just crossing the room just took a lot of effort. I don't know. It was rough. I was fortunate that I didn't have the breathing issues. I had the Delta variant, so it was all like in my sinuses. And honestly, I'm still kind of having sinus issues. I don't know if it's related to the COVID or not, but certain foods just smell and taste really weird now. Like I used to love hard-boiled eggs, and now I cannot stand them. I don't know. They just smell and taste weird. The first time I noticed it, I thought that like the eggs had gone bad. And then I got some new eggs and it wasn't any better. So not good. Let's see. Let's see. Angela. Hi, Angela. Happy New Year to you. Just making it says an unruly mop is nothing that a hair clip to hold it all up in a messy bun won't do. I've tried shorter hair, but that's worse. Yes, I've gone really, really short, like pixie short, and I've gone really, really long, and longer is easier. It's a mix of wavy dark and curly gray, so up it goes. Yep, sounds like mine. Mine can get really curly sometimes if I put the curling spray in it. Angela says she's using Premier Serenity Chunky in the colorway Fieldstone. So Fieldstone, I'm picturing Fieldstone to be like some dark grays and some light grays and maybe black. I don't know. You'll have to tell me if I'm right. That's just what it sounds like to me. Fieldstone. Granny D says, never mind. I see y'all are continuing to improve. So yay, still praying. Absolutely. Lisa says, I'm using an 8-ply in off pink. That's great. Granny D says, yep, that's why I have long hair. Way lazy. It is way easier too. It takes a little longer to dry. But, you know, I usually wash my hair at night before I go to bed. And then I just have a towel. I put a towel on my pillow. And that seems to make it dry faster. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I used to not be able to sleep with wet hair because I'd get cold. But once I discovered putting the towel on the pillow, I don't get cold anymore. It just absorbs it. So that's a tip. That's a beauty tip for me. Hey, Ashley, how are you? How are you feeling? I hope you're doing well. I've been thinking about you. I know that chemo is hard, so I hope you're doing okay. Jess Making Knit says, we were exposed to COVID by our kids last week. Hubby's sick yesterday, and I could not stop smelling or tasting mold. Doing better today, so maybe it was just a flu bug. I hope so. I hope so. I was exposed to it just today. Just today, a guy came in my office, and 2 hours later, he was sent home because he tested positive. I don't know. I've been vaccinated twice and boosted, and just clicking so I don't forget. And I've had it. So I'm hoping that, and I was also masked, and he was masked, and he was like 10 feet away, and he was only in the office for a couple minutes. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping that I'm good. I'm not going to worry about it unless I have some symptoms. So just going to hope for the best. Yarn Fairy says, much better than being in ICU. Still get very tired and winded, and will be at least a month before I can get back to work. I see so many things I want to do, but just pace myself. Yes, please continue to do that, Yarn Fairy. Don't rush it. Let your body heal. I know that my friend Melanie over at Hook to the Left tells you the same thing because her mother's going through the same thing right now. And yeah, it's really important just to pace yourself. Pace yourself. We don't want you getting sick again. It's not worth it. Let's see. Ed says we were both in oxygen when we came home, and it took a while to get to where we go without added O2, unless we're doing something a little strenuous. I haven't had O2 in the house since Saturday. Good for you, Ed. That's progress, buddy. That is progress. That is awesome. How are you guys doing? Everybody doing okay? What row or round are you guys on? You're probably way ahead of me. I just finished 13. I'm about halfway through 14. It's a quieter kind of live stream, right? Everybody's quietly stitching away. I should have brought in some quiet music. We could have just all relaxed and gone to our happy Zen place with our stitching. I'm thinking that next week we might be learning a new stitch, not a hard stitch, but a new stitch pattern. And I don't know if we'll make anything more than a swatch, maybe just like a dishcloth or something. I find that dishcloths and coasters and headbands, things like that are really good for learning new stitches because you're not particularly heartbroken if you never get it. And, you know, it's just something that's useful to have around if you do get the stitch right, and makes a nice swatch. Can kind of see how things work up and how the different yarns work up with that stitch. So yeah, I'm thinking next week is going to be something small like that with a new stitch because I've been looking through my stitch books. Love to try some new ones. And actually I have a stitch dictionary app, and I've been learning some new stitches with that too, and that's really fun. And it's really nice because she does a video. There's no sound, but she shows you how she does each stitch. It's pretty cool. Oh, hi, Jenny. I'm so glad you made it. Better late than never, sister. I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Everybody's just so happy for Ed and the Yarn Fairy. That makes me so pleased. Yarn Fairy used Premier Puzzle and Crosswords colorway, shades of brown, tan, and cream with some marling. Ooh, that sounds lovely. I would love to see that. Got to post a picture on my Facebook group. I'm trying to figure out how to make it so that people don't have to be approved. In my Facebook group and also in the Yarn Hookers one, like nobody can post anything unless an administrator approves it. And I'm trying to figure out how to turn that off. I trust everybody, and if they prove themselves untrustworthy, then I just remove them. So it's no big deal. But I want to see what everybody's making. But when I'm working all day, I don't have, I don't check my phone for like Facebook. I don't even have Facebook on my phone, to be honest with you. So I don't see what everybody is doing during the day until I get home. How are you guys doing? What round are you on? I'm almost finished with 14. Woo. How big should it be after row 12? It should be 56 stitches. Does that help, or are you looking for an actual measurement? Hang on 1 second. I have to get a tape measure. I think I've got one. I think I've got one. I don't think I've moved anything since last week. I know I had one last week. All right, I'm going to put my stitch marker in because I just finished that round. And I'm going to click my clicky and see if I can find... Aren't I classy with my Ziploc bag? All right, raise your hand if you put all of your odds and ends in a Ziploc bag like me. Oh, I don't think I have one with me. At least I don't in that bag. Oh, I might have found it in my other bag. So many bags. I'm a bag lady. What can I say? Okay. So I've got my little tape measure here. And I'm just going to measure around like the circumference. Does that make sense? And I'll just go from the last stitch to the first stitch. It looks to be about 22.5 inches, which works out to about 57.5 centimeters. Does that help? Let me know if that's what you're looking for. The scientific name for that measurement is the size of my head. But it's 56 stitches. Let's see here. Ashley says, I'm doing okay, feeling a little tired, loving the good company. Oh, Ashley, we're all thinking about you. I know that it's so hard. I watched my brother-in-law going through it for so long, and I know that it just would wear him out. But he took it in stride, and he's just like, it's an excuse to take a nap, you know? Just take a nap, just rest. Let your body do its thing. Let it heal, right? Yarn Fairy, let's see, Kathy says the Yarn Fairy is so much better than being in the hospital. It's so hard when the mind wants to do things and the body doesn't allow it. Yes, ma'am, that is the truth. Granny D says, my eldest granddaughter has it now. Oh, my Arabella. Her mama, my cute little redhead, and her youngest Jules had it back in September. It is no fun. It really isn't. I'm told that this newest strain, this Omicron, is not, is bad with the symptoms. And from what I see at the school where I work, I keep taking my stitch marker out. Why do I do that? Keep the stitch marker. Anyway, where I am at work, the kids are bouncing back from it really quick. So hopefully it's not as bad as some of the variants have been. All we can do is hope and do our best to avoid it. You know, that's all we can do. Lori says, I'm not sure what yarn or colorway. I think it's Premier Serenity, and it's a green color. Oh, that's for the Fieldstone? I think that it was the Fieldstone. That's cool. I love green. It's my favorite color. Jess said, we were with our kids the whole day, and the next day they tested positive. Then I had to take one of their kids to the doctor for a pre-op checkup yesterday. And while there, he came back positive also. So I'm guessing that the op for the pre-op is off now. I'm guessing they're not going to do any surgery anytime soon. That would be my guess. Let's see. Ashley, you're in my prayers too, honey pie. Isn't she the sweetest, Granny D? Yeah, Ashley's a sweetie. Charlene, Julie, if I were making a kid-size hat, where would I stop increasing the rows? Oh, that's a good question. I guess it would depend on the size of the kid. I don't know if I have any kid-size hats here. I just gave the last one to my niece. I want to say it was like, oh man, I don't remember. I am so sorry. I want to say it was like the 48 stitches maybe? I don't know. Maybe you could just try it. It's also going to depend on your size of your hook and your yarn. But in this one, I would think in the 48, but it depends on the kid, you know, how big their little beans are, how big their little bean heads are. I'm sorry, I'm not much help on that. Let's see here. Yarn Fairy says, fingers crossed that they have the mild form. Yeah. Just making it, but we've been exposed so many times in the last 2 years being grandparent in Central, and haven't had a problem except holidays of 2019 when we were pretty sure we had it for about a month. Yeah, I almost think that a lot of people have had these things and don't even know it. Again, this newest strain, they say the symptoms for some people are so mild they don't even know they had it. They think they just had like a little cold or, you know, a little allergy incident or something like that. So certainly possible. Kathy, I had to go back and undo the increase on row 7 because I have a freakishly small head. I have a pretty small head too. This hat's just a little bit big for me. So I understand, but I wanted to make it for the masses, for the majority of people. And, you know, for some people, it's going to be too small and you're going to have to increase again. But yeah, definitely try things on when you're making them. If there's something that you're going to wear, especially like big stuff like sweaters and things, try them on as you go if you can, because it's going to make things a lot easier for you in the long run. Boy, I'm like getting low on yarn. I feel like, am I going to have enough? I'm sure I will. Hope I do. I did for the other 2 hats I made, so hopefully. Ashley, thank you. I love you so much. Oh, you're sweet, Ashley. Jamie says, I don't have an 8mm, so I used a 6mm, and it was still quite large. So I turned it upside down and stuck a plant in it, and then did again, but used it as a hot plate and stopped at row 9. Oh, Jamie, you're my little friend. You're so teeny tiny. You'll just have to give it to George. Lisa says, I just finished row 12. Keep it up, girl. You're getting there. You are getting there. I really just am trying to get it done so that I can show you guys the pom-pom maker. If you're interested in seeing the pom-pom maker, it's my favorite part. But you know, we'll see if I get there. Hopefully I'll have yarn left. I always get nervous. Even though like I know I'm going to have enough, I get nervous that I'm going to run out. Hopefully I don't. We shall see. Let's see here. Jess says, Yarn Fairy, they are hanging in there. Both our son and daughter-in-law were down for a couple of days, but fine now, and the kids are positive but symptom-free. That is awesome. Oh, Sydney loves making dishcloths. Well, that's good. I think we're going to be doing that. Granny D says, I have a private group on Facebook and cannot find where I can change it to open. Yeah, right, D? I know. I'm having the same problem. I've been Googling it and everything, YouTubing it, trying to figure out how I can do that. But I don't know. I know that you can approve members, but I was like, well, geez, I'd have to go through and approve all of them. That would take a long time. So for now, anytime someone puts in a request to post something, I've just been automatically approving them, I think. Of course, this just started like 2 days ago, so I haven't gotten very far yet. But yeah, the whole point of opening the Facebook group was so that I could see what everybody was making. But I think that people are hesitant to try to post anything because it's got to go through this approval process. So that's a little discouraging, a little frustrating, but we'll try to figure it out. We will try our best to get it done. All right, that's 15. How many rows did I say we have to make? Was it 17? No, 18. 18 rounds. Okay. Joe Fagan would like to know the crown to the rim. Okay. At what round did you say? 15? I got to go back and find your original post. I think you said round 15. I'm sorry, I'm looking for it. Oh, round 12. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm at 15 now, so I got to go back 3. 1, 2, 3. And I got to find my tape measure again. We'll get it. Crinkly, crinkly, crinkly. Okay. Crown to round 12. Crown to round 12 looks to be about 7 inches would be my closest estimate. And 7 inches in centimeters would be 18 and a half. That help? Hopefully that helps. Samantha, why did I start earlier? Oh, Samantha, this is such a story. I've told it a few times now. Everybody's probably sick of hearing it. But I had been scheduling live streams for myself and also for yarn hookers at the same time. And yarn hookers always starts at 5, and I always start my lives at 6. And I just got my times mixed up, and I put 5 instead of 6. So I didn't do it on purpose, and I didn't realize I did it until I started seeing everybody in the chat saying, "Where is she?" So I jumped on as quickly as I could, and luckily, I think everybody stayed. I'm not sure. I think everybody stayed. I hope so. I hope I didn't lose anybody. But I did not start I didn't start the tutorial until after 6 because I didn't want anybody to miss it. So we are starting our hats on time. And we are starting to get there. I'm crocheting as quickly as I can because I want to make my pom-pom tonight. I want to finish it. How funny would it be if I went to work tomorrow wearing this hat and I wore it during all of those live Zoom feeds that I have to do tomorrow? The parents at the school would be like, "What is she doing? Has she lost her mind?" Or maybe they'd think the heat was broken in the school. Why is she wearing a hat? But it would certainly fix the crazy hair problem, right? Wouldn't need to worry about how my hair looked. Well, it would be nice. Would be nice, but it's not gonna happen. Let's check the chat, guys. Just Making It says, I put all types of stuff in a Ziploc. I even save the zipper bags from bed sheets and use them. Me too. Those are awesome. I like Ziplocs of all sizes for big project bags. I prefer them to tangled mess. Me too. And I'll tell you, as a former preschool teacher, they are a teacher's dream when it comes to puzzles and Legos and all kinds of stuff. Play-Doh. Because, the boxes that things come in are usually like cardboard. And I was a big, big person for puzzles with my kiddos, my little kiddos in the classroom. And I had most of my 4-year-olds were completing 100-piece puzzles by the time they left to go off to kindergarten. So I was really proud of them. But there's nothing like frustration of missing that last piece. So I would cut the picture of the box off of the box. I would just cut out the picture and then I would put it in the Ziploc bag with all the pieces. And I found that was a lot better. I lost a lot fewer pieces, but also everything else in the Ziploc. And I don't throw them away. I just, I reuse them a lot. But I do walk around. I do walk around with a lot of plastic bags. This year, you know what I'm going to save in a Ziploc bag is all of my ball bands. I was inspired by Ginger. She saves all of her ball bands so that she can see how many yards she has crocheted in 1 year. And that is hysterical. And let me tell you what, our little yarn geek, does thousands and thousands and thousands of yards. Do you guys do that? Is there anybody in the chat that saves their ball bands to figure out their yardage for the year? Because I think it's a really cool idea, and I'm going to try it this year. In fact, this might be my first ball band. That would be kind of fun. I would remember for sure what I made with it. The ball band challenge. Jamie says, Julie, why don't you give us a new stitch a month and we can turn our new stitch skill into an Afghan at the end of the year, unless that's too much of a comment. No, it's not. I've actually thought of that, Jamie. The only thing that I worry about is making sure that it will line up to stitch together. Unless we just do whip stitch. I guess we could whip stitch some squares together, but I've thought of that. I think it's a really good idea. I like that idea a lot. You might have just started something big, Jamie, my sweet little naughty hooker. Oh, Yarn Fairy's so sweet to send Ashley some love, and so is Jess and everybody else. I'm so excited that you guys are so sweet to each other. It makes me so happy. Lori started a new job yesterday. I'm worn out just from trying to learn all the things. Lori, it is so hard to start a new job, and it takes courage for sure. But I know you got it. I know you can do it. It is a lot to learn, but you have to remember that the expert in anything was once a beginner. I had that quote on my desk for the first, well, actually it's still on my desk because I'm still learning every day, but it's true. It's a really good quote, and it's true. The expert in anything was once a beginner. Everybody started off where you are, so you got this. Just be patient and kind with yourself, and you'll get there. You'll get the hang of it. But I do understand you don't want anybody to think you can't do it, or, it's embarrassing to make mistakes. I know, I made a big one tonight on the live stream. But you can do it. Congratulations. Nana Michelle Crochet says, hi all in the ads DCC raid. What is that? What is the ads DCC raid? I don't know what that is. Am I in that? Am I involved? Ed says Omicron affects the nose and upper throat with less severe symptoms, similar to a bad cold. That's good to know. I'm starting to worry about myself. I've had a sore throat for a couple days. But like I said, I have post-nasal drip and I get sore throats a lot. So, Granny D saying, hey to Nana Michelle. I have a feeling I'm way back here. Jess says, I'm thinking the op part of the pre-op is postponed. It was dental work, but they're putting him out since he's only 5. Yeah. If I were a dentist, I would want a 5-year-old to be knocked out because you never know when they're going to bite down. I remember when my son, when he was about 7 or 8, got his first filling, his only filling actually, learned his lesson. But they went to put the needle in to numb it, and he almost bit down on the needle. That would have been pretty scary because they would have had to extract it a different way, I guess. Angela says, just tried my hat and I'm going to have to stop around 16. Otherwise, I won't be able to see. Well, you got to stop when you got to stop, girl. That's good. You're almost done then. Jess says, nothing urgent. It's fine to have to put it off. Well, that's good. Lisa just finished around 13. Judy says, I'm afraid I wouldn't survive COVID. I'm a diabetic, overweight, have COPD, high blood pressure, had cancer, have a neurological condition, am elderly, and to top it off, I'm immune deficient. Judy, you just have to avoid people, I guess, is all you can do, right? Just don't let your guard down. Just don't let your guard down. Stay safe. I don't want you getting sick. Do not want that at all. Ed says he's a diabetic as well. Judy, praying for a shield of protection from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stay safe. All right, here, how we doing, guys? Ed says that's a rough list of issues to deal with without the COVID. Absolutely. Jess says whatever we had in 2019 left me with costochondritis for 9 months before I got it under control. But that's just my silly immune system overreacting as usual. Oh, our immune systems are pretty amazing, aren't they? I mean, they do get mixed up sometimes, though. That's for sure. I hear music. I think that my son must be listening to quiet music the other day or in the other room. It's very pretty. Samantha, I didn't start at 4 p.m. Well, I don't know where you are. I started at 5:20, I want to say. And I explained this a little while ago, honey. Do you remember what I said? I got my times mixed up when I scheduled. Okay, I scheduled it for 5 on accident. It should be 6 and it will always be at 6. I just got a little bit mixed up today. It happens to everybody. Yes, Joe says yarn chicken. Now I know I'm really behind on the chat, you guys. It's really hard to scroll and crochet at the same time, but I'm trying. I'm trying. And once I get to the end of this round, I'm going to try to get caught up in the chat. So let me just hurry my way through. I need a moderator like standing next to me, scrolling through and telling me the comments like Jada does. She's got her husband and he tells her the comments while she's crocheting. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a super fan of Jada's. If you don't know who I'm talking about, check out Jada and Stitches. She is one of the best teachers out there for crochet. There's a lot of really good ones, but she, for whatever reason, she's the one I gravitate to because she's so quirky and fun. I just really like that about her. Excuse me. I really like her. She's funny. One time I asked a question on her live and she gave me like a really good long answer. I was like fangirling. It was silly, but I was totally fangirling. Okay, now I've made it to the end of round 17. So I've only got one round to go. So I'm going to really quick go through the chat and then I'll finish up here. So Jess says, on the plus side, I think the autoimmune disorder has kept me from getting COVID since my body attacks everything, even itself. That's possible. That's possible. Hi, Angie. I'm so glad to see you. Oh, Judy says, Granny D, thanks so much. That means a lot. Kathy says, I yarn chicken to shawl today, eliminated the last row and changed the second to last converse. Yeah, yeah. Samantha, next week we are going to learn a new stitch. It's going to be good. And we're probably going to make either a square. Jamie's given me an idea to start making some squares, or we might just make it into a dishcloth or maybe even a headband. I'm not quite sure yet, but it's definitely going to be a new stitch. Let's see. George said no to the hat. It messes with his glorious hair. I roll. Ginger, he did agree to model a one-piece jumpsuit that you can convince Mr. Roll the Cheese Man to wear one also. Oh, that's so funny, Jamie. Samantha's going to get some new hooks. That's cool. Very good. Let's see. Yeah, I am still fangirling. You're right. Yes, she is the Granny Square Queen, Joe. You're right. Hi, Lacey. Good to see you. Natty says it's oiled. Yes, go get Mr. Whippy to join you on your live like Jada does. Or does he prefer Mr. Chick? I'm not sure what he'd prefer, really. I don't know. I don't think he would do it. Julie, you need to get Ginger show you how to multitask. Are you kidding? Ginger? I don't know. I'm Ginger's manager. I love me some Ginger. I'm going to try on my hat, guys, and you're going to get to see me with some crazy hair because I had a ponytail in and a baseball hat. So, and yeah, I need to do my roots, so just don't even say anything. Okay, so my hat is big enough at 17 rounds, so I'm going to stop at 17. I don't need to go any further. So you guys can go as far as you want on yours, but like I said, I'm going to stop at 17. And I'm going to show you, oh my gosh, look at that. The gray roots really show up when you're on camera. Really bad. I got to cover that up with my hat. Oh my goodness. Time to do some root touch up. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is how first let me make myself bigger. I'm going to show you how I take this little jagged edge. Do you see where our stitch is much higher where we're ending than in the next round? I'm going to show you how I even that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my yarn. It's all done. I'm going to cut my yarn. I'm going to give myself a little bit of tail here. Oopsie daisy. So let's see how much tail did I give myself. I don't know, like 7 or 8 inches. It's not really hugely important, just enough so that you can, you know, use a needle and weave in your ends. So I'm just going to grab myself a big old needle. Big old needle. Go gray, it's the best. I know. Part of me wants to do the Bonnie Raitt, just like one little gray streak. It would be so freeing, but I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready yet. So I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle. And the way I do that is I like to just fold my yarn over and I pinch it really tight. And I hold it in place so that I've got this little tiny, like nubby piece of yarn. And thread that through. And from there, I'm actually going to take off my stitch marker now. Don't need that anymore. And I am going to try to do this on camera. I'm going to run my needle through the eye of my loop and pull that down. And then I'm going to go into the next stitch. That would be like if you were to continue crocheting and go up with my needle in one of the legs. And then I actually go up in the next stitch as well, up in just the one, like the front loop, and kind of just snug that down. And then I go back again in the back loops. It just kind of snugs it down a little bit and evens that out a little bit. Am I making any sense? I just feel like it's so hard to explain it when I don't have an overhead camera. But it kind of evens it out. And if you find that it's not evened out enough, just keep playing with it until you can get that to kind of even out a little bit and tie that down. Yeah, I think I even had to go up to the next stitch to even it out a little bit more. And then I'm just going to weave in that end. Maybe tie it in a little bit of a knot so my hat doesn't fall apart. All right. I'm not super pleased with it on this one, actually. I did a better job on my last hat, but you know, sometimes it just goes better than other times. Sometimes they are better than others. I'm just going to cut that though, and then get to the fun part, which is my pom-pom maker. I hope I have my pom-pom maker in here. That would be very disappointing if I didn't have it. I had to go looking for it. That would be very disappointing. Oh my goodness. How are we doing on time, guys? Oh, we're getting close, aren't we? Almost 7 o'clock. All right, let me see if I've got my pom-pom maker. Oh, I don't think I have it. Hang on a second, guys. I'll go get it. Let me put the slide back up. I'll be right back. Oh, that was so embarrassing. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't think I've ever had to do that before, get up and walk out of my live. Okay, so I'm going to be using a Clover pom-pom maker. I'm not sure what size this one is. This is the 2.5 inch one. So I don't know if you've ever made one of these or used one of these to make a pom-pom, but you basically, it's got these little levers that open and close. So you open the one side, and there's 2 of them. So you open the one side, and then you just wrap your yarn around it. I love making pom-poms. I'm such a nerd. Let's see here. So you just hold it in place on the end and just wrap it. Wrap it like there's no tomorrow. Lori says she has a natural gray streak. My friends are all jealous for some strange reason. I think it's cool. I am gray all over. I started going gray pretty young. I was probably about 28, 29, but I didn't color it until I was 30. And at that time, it was just, a few grays here and there. But if I were to stop coloring my hair now, I would be just white all over, I think. But my dad and my grandmother, they both went gray very young as well. So it's hereditary, I guess. At least I'm not bald. That would be harder. I know that it's just hard on women who have thinning hair. My mother-in-law has very thin hair, and I know it's been hard on her. So much of, I don't know how we women see ourselves is about hair. It's just, why are we like that? Why are we like that? Let's see here. I want to get caught up in my chat, and it's a long way back. Ed says, don't worry about a little gray. Jess says, yes, go gray. Mine is sort of salt and pepper with the start of a streak in the front. Super easy. Jess says, at Lacey, I want to know when you start your channel. Me too, Lacey. When are you starting a channel? That's exciting. It's really fun. It's a lot of work. If you want it to be, you don't have to make it a lot of work. It just depends on what your goals are with it. I started off and I was just like, oh, I just want to do it for fun and see if I meet anybody. Wow, I met like so many people, including Mel and Ginger. They're like my best friends now. We talk to each other almost every day. It's been great. But now my goals for my channel are changing a little bit, and I want it to grow, and so now it's kind of turning into more work. And I have to keep reminding myself that that's, it's what you want. It's what you make it out to be. You're going to get what you put into it. So if you want to do it just for fun, then you just do it without being stressed about it. Okay, so I'm wrapping up my second half. Forgot that I was doing a tutorial. And so you close these. Once you get them wrapped up, you close them. And then the fun part happens. So I've got my yarn all wrapped around each half. And these pom-pom makers, they have these little slots in between each of the little legs. And so you're going to put your scissor in there in these little slots like that, and then you just cut your yarn. And once I get one cut, I can show you. You see there's like this little groove. So your scissors just kind of run along that groove. So once you get one side done, then you do the other. Right, Captain Obvious? That's what my son would say. He calls me Captain Obvious sometimes when I say things like that. Very good, Captain Obvious. Almost there. Let's see. Sometimes cutting through it, depending on how thick you've made it, can be hard. So you're going to want a pair of good sturdy scissors if you're using heavy yarn like this. Okay, so once you get it all cut, then you take another piece of yarn. I like to make it a nice long piece so that I have plenty of yarn to work with. But you're gonna put your yarn on that same little track where you cut. So you kind of put it in that little groove. And then when you have it like kind of even, you just give it a little tug and it goes in between the tracks. So then you just tie it in a nice tight knot. And I actually have a video on this. Like, it's a little easier to see because it's got a top-down camera. But yeah, you tie it nice and tight. And then I flip it over and tie it again on the other side, just because I like it to be really secure. So you give it a nice tug. But the important part is if you're using like a roving type yarn, you don't want to pull so hard that you break your yarn, because I've done that and it is not fun. Because then you have to, do it again, and then you're stuck with like this broken yarn in the middle. It really didn't look bad, but I don't know. You just don't want your pom-pom to fall apart. Okay, so I've got it nice and tight. And now this is the best part. You're going to open up these little leg things. See how they open? They look like little upside down rainbows, little smileys. And then you do the other side. Open up those little legs. And then this is really awkward on the screen. And then you literally take them apart. They pop apart. See, there's like a little, can you see the little like needle thing right there? Put it against something dark. Can I put it against there? Can see that little needle thing? And then and this one, there's a little hole. So they go right back together. And got your pom-pom. Isn't that cute? And I don't usually have to do too much cleanup. Like there's a couple little stragglers that you might want to trim off, but you don't usually have to do too much with it. Yeah. Okay. So got a few of my little ends there needing trimmed. You're giving your pom-pom a little haircut. It's going to the little hairdresser there. From there, you just, put those little ends from your tie down on a needle, and then just string it to the top of your hat and tie it down in a knot. I don't even weave in the ends because I'm lazy. But it's also at the top of the hat. So I just make sure it's in a nice tight knot and cut the ends. So yeah, let's just put that in there. Oh, I thought I lost my hat. Put it in. I find the circle at the very top, like our very first circle, our magic ring or our magic loop or whatever you call it. And I just string in my pom-pom. Let's see. Oh, Lacey says, if I ever get around to it, my channel will be called Libra. Oh, astrological sign. I'm a Pisces myself. My friend Ginger, she knows all about that stuff. She's tried to teach me, but I'm a slow learner. So I'm stringing my pom-pom on. And once I get it in there, I just tie it down. Tie it in a knot. Actually, I'm going to tie it right to my original stitch. My original end, I guess I should call it. I'm not sure what to call it. Once I get those all tied down, like I said, you can obviously weave in your ends at the top, but I am really lazy. And I usually just cut them after I've got nice tight knots on there. I don't know. If people are going to wear their hats inside out, maybe they care, but. So, let's try it on. Let's try it on, this gray-haired woman. Done. Look at that. We did it. We made a hat, you guys. Who's done? Is anybody else done? Anybody else wearing their hat? The weather's finally getting cold enough here where you kind of need a hat. It is chilly. All right, let's see. All right, I'm going to go through my chats now. Ed says his beard is all white. My hair, what little I have, hasn't gotten there yet. One of these days, I'm going to go find Ed and the Yarn Fairy, and I'm going to knock on their door, and I'm going to say, hey, guys, let's go yarn shopping, because they live fairly close. Lacey says, oh, cool. You guys are just the best. I hate that I missed making a hat with you guys. I had to stupid work. Oh, Lacey, just watch the replay. Watch the replay. It's awesome. Yarn Fairy says, you can make your channel live before you put content on it. Mine is, and I already have 2 subs. They're just waiting for me to upload some content. Yeah. Also, if you subscribe to somebody who has similar tastes, then you can, I think, can they see your playlists maybe? So that might be good too. Lacey says, Mrs. Yarn Fairy, that's a good idea. Might even make me more likely just to pop a video up on there when I get a free minute. Yes, you should do it. Just do it. Anybody who wants to start a channel, that's my advice to them. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen? Ashley says, your pom-pom maker video saved my Santa hat. Yay! Yarn Fairy says, exactly why I did it that way. I'm told the hardest one is the first. As soon as I'm feeling better, I'm going to pluck up the courage and pop one up. We can do this together. You can. That'd be awesome. Lacey, my channel is live without any content except one short clip, but I think I just learned something to make vlogging easier. I know I need to separate the sound. Oh, there you go. I didn't know that. Lori, it's cool. It's like Rogue from the X-Men. Not sure what they were talking about. Alice says, I just started a channel. Well, I put up a very rough first book haul. Oh, that's awesome. Ashley says, honestly, I didn't mind losing my hair from the chemo. I like being bald till I get cold. Then I feel like a baby bird. Oh, Ashley. It's got to be kind of freeing, though, right? To just not have to worry about it. But yeah, I would get really cold. I know I would. That's where you make lots of hats. Lots and lots of hats. Lacey says, well, I always want to talk about yarn and crochet and show my designs off and make tutorials. So I figured I might as well make a channel. It'll be great fun. That was exactly what I wanted to do too, Lacey. You should do it. You totally should do it. Just make a knit. My obsessive personality means I'd have to tell myself, this is not your job. This is not your job, over and over. Yeah, I do that. I think it was Sunday morning. I don't even realize how much time has gone by. And I think I started working, not just on my channel, but Yarn Hooker stuff too. I think I sat down at the computer at like 7 in the morning. And the next thing I knew, it was like 11:30. And I was like, oh, I've got to do the grocery shopping. I've got stuff to do. Because I treat it like a job. And that sometimes it's good, but sometimes, yeah, you got to remind yourself, take it easy, pace yourself. Jamie says, I lost 70% of my hair off the top of my head this summer. I was told by 4 doctors it will not be growing back. So I'm okay with others' heads now, and I will wear a hat while I'm awake. So Jamie, has any of it started, excuse me, has any of it started growing back? Julie, you should get your son to read the comments. I should. Mrs. Fairy, don't be nervous. We all already love you and Mr. Ed to pieces. I love that you called him Mr. Ed. Makes me think of the horse. Lacey, it sounds like you've already figured out a great foundation. Just making it. Maybe if I was able to talk about yarn and crafty stuff more, then I'd buy less of it. Actually, you'll find more reasons to buy it. You'll be like, oh, I'll do a review. Yarn Fairy says, "Ah, happy tears. Thank you." Lacey says, "Obsessive seems like a common trait between all of us. At least you would think so when you look at our yarn stashes." Yeah. Jess says, "Speaking of hair, why does it have to be thick on our heads, grow thicker on our chins as we age?" I don't know, but every month or so, I find a new one to pluck out. As far as huge yarn stashes go, I don't have a huge yarn stash. I'll show you my entire stash is right here. That's it. Just that. And the reason for that is because too much stuff kind of makes me edgy. I like to have things sparse. I like to have things I don't want to say not cluttered. I just don't like to have a lot of stuff. I'm more of a minimalist. So I've got a basket over here, and this is a project that I'm working on. But yeah, that's it for my stash. I don't have a big stash. In fact, last summer I gave away a lot of my yarn in a giveaway. Like, take it, please. And I had 2 huge boxes that went to 2 different people. Lacey says, if you find a way to not accidentally spend $200 from time to time on yarn, let me know. Samantha says, what is the difference between regular crochet hooks and furls hooks? Furls hooks are shaped differently. They, I can show you. I have one. They're also extremely expensive, and in my opinion, not worth it. But that's my opinion. A lot of people love furls. A lot of people really love these hooks. But for me personally, they don't do it for me. I don't know. They're okay. They're okay. So this is a furls hook. It's got a much different shape. I don't think I have any regular hooks in here. All of my hooks in here are ergonomic. Let me see. Let me see. This is a more typical shaped crochet hook, just a plain crochet hook. But you see the furls has this big kind of bulb right here. So, but it's all personal preference. A lot of people really, really like the shape of the furls hook. They like the weight of it. I just don't happen to be one of them. And that's okay. That's not a bad thing against furls. It's not a good thing for furls. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever you like, you like. But I will say this. If you're considering buying furls, buy one. Buy one. See if you like it. If you love it, great. Buy more. But if you don't like it, then you didn't spend a ton of money looking into it. And that is my furls spiel. Let's see. Just making it, yes. And also, if you're someone who needs to make variegated / striped / ombre yarns match up when joining in a new strand, I know nothing about doing that at all. Constantly, I do that. I do that all the time. You know, you pull out the yarn and try to match it up perfectly. If my yarn habit was drugs, they'd put me in rehab. I have to put that one up. That's really funny. Lacey, regular hooks are not ergonomic and furls hooks are. Also, Odyssey hooks are nickel plated and they do not produce that yarn squeak scratch that is a sensory issue for many. Yeah, a lot of people really love furls. They really do. I know Ginger loves her furls. I'm just not a furls girl. Not a furls girl. You're either a furls girl or not a furls girl. I'm just not. Jess, yes, girl. I always say there are worse things I could blow my money on and be addicted to. That's the truth. Okay, let's see. I am just gonna really quick look through this chat, but it's getting late, you guys. I'm just noticing what time it is. And I got a family that are wondering where I am. Lacey, as soon as I get my knit swag mug, I know for sure I'll be doing a podcast. I have a coupon code for knit swag, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Lacey, I can't wait. I'm super excited. I'd love to see that. Thank you, Lacey. It did come out pretty cute. I like it. All right, I'm gonna be jumping down to the bottom here. Michelle says she does the old-fashioned way to make a pom-pom by using your hand. Yeah, I've done it with using a cassette tape case, wrapped them around that. But I just have a lot of fun with the with the pom-pom maker. Oh my gosh. Joe's not a furls girl either. Thank you, Joe. I thought I was the only one. One day I was just like, what is with the furls? Everybody just loves them. And I'm like, I feel kind of bad for it, for saying it, but they're just not they're okay. I can use them, but just not. Lacey, I'm so glad I caught you guys on here for a few minutes. Great way to wind down after work stress. Michelle says, I've got 2 furls hooked. Do like it, but clovers are my favorite. I like clovers. They're pretty good. Well, actually, I don't have real clovers. I have the knockoff brand, the no-name brand clovers. So let's see. I think of all of the yarn I could buy with the money for a furls. Yeah. Now, Lacey's a Furls Odyssey girl. I got to have the nickel and the weight. But everybody has their own jam. Amen, sister. So yeah, Kathy says she has less hand pain with her furls. And I can understand that too. I think I don't really have a problem with hand pain. So I think they might give me hand pain. It just doesn't feel natural to me. Ashley says, I love my furls, but just like my green medication, they aren't for everyone, and peer pressure doesn't help anyone. Right. Do what's best for you. I will say though, if you are interested in trying out a hook that's expensive and everybody's raving about it, give it a try. I was lucky enough that someone gifted that to me. One of the people that watches my channel sent that to me in the mail. It was super sweet. And I feel kind of bad that I don't use it that often. But it was perfect because it gave me the opportunity to try it. And now I know not to, buy a whole set. Yeah. So Joe says they gave her hand pain. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to close it here. I thank you so, so much for coming. I can't tell you how embarrassed I was at the beginning, but you guys are so patient with me and kind, and thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoy your hats. I hope they keep you nice and warm, and I hope you make more for other people and show off how talented you are, because I think you're all amazing. So thank you so, so much, and I will see you next week, and I will do something with a new stitch. I'm not exactly sure what, but I will put it in the community post so that everybody can kind of see what we're going to be working on. Okay, everybody, take care. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm trying.